everyone, welcome back to my channel, Fixing It Up with Sandra. In case you're new to my channel, I'm Sandra, and today we are going to talk about vendor malls versus opening your own brick and mortar store, opening your own storefront. I currently am about 1 year in, I'm about 10 months in, because it'll be a year in August. So I'm about 10 months into opening my own business, and I have it in a vendor mall, so I don't have a brick and mortar. It was something that was completely done on a whim. I had planned to open a business, but it was going to be at least 2 years out. And I say at least, I was going to say it was going to definitely be within that 1 to 2 year plan prior to COVID. COVID threw me into opening a business because I was a waitress for 15 years, and I was a waitress / in the hospitality industry. I worked in bed and breakfasts. I did all that. Absolutely loved it. And being in the service industry, you work these odd hours and shorter shifts, so it allowed me to be creative. And so I was, on the brink of wanting to open a store, but obviously, I say obviously, you guys don't know, but I just didn't have the money to do it. I'm one of those people that truly believed that I needed to have like thousands of dollars in the bank. I needed to have a business license. I needed to have all of these things before I even attempted to look at prospective like places to have my business. I know that a lot of us think that, and so I want to tell you what the benefits of working in a vendor mall can be for you, especially those who are still, unsure of like, do you want to just jump in or do you want to just kind of tiptoe into the water? There's a vendor mall. There's about 4 vendor malls here in my town, and what a vendor mall is it's a store where vendors rent spaces inside the store to put their goods. It is not consignment. Consignment is when you give somebody a piece of furniture or whatever, and you don't pay any rent. They just take a percentage off of that item once it sells. So I do not have a consignment spot. I actually have a vendor spot where I pay $350 a month for my spot, and I forget the square footage, but it's a nice size, and I'm right up front. And then the goods, I have freedom to bring in whatever I want, decorate how I want. It's my spot. It's my store. And then the owner collects 15% from every sale, which I know some people are like, whoa, that's a lot of money. It's actually not. Once I start breaking down the numbers for you, it's actually pretty fair. And I say pretty fair, it's actually really fair. That is how the owner of the vendor mall makes money. And of course, with the rent, it usually breaks the owner even, and then the money they make is off of what you sell, because they are not selling their own goods inside this store. They are wanting you to sell goods, and they are going to get a percentage. So a vendor mall, for the most part, where I'm at, let me just say where I'm at. Where I am at, it is month to month. So I can pack up and leave at any point in time. There is no contract. I would assume that some places may have a contract. If you are thinking about it, really make sure if you're going to sign like a lease, I guess it's, that you are prepared to do it. So what I did when I started the vendor mall, there was just this big space. All I had was one product, and I thought for sure that I would never be able to fill this place up. You actually do fill it up. Let me just speak on I keep saying, other people. I actually did fill it up. I was just, it's like a purse, you give me a bigger purse, I'm going to fill it all up. So my shop, I was like, you know what? I have this one little corner, but I am motivated. I'm inspired. This is fun. Let me fill it up. And I do want to say the one thing that I wish I would have known from the time that I started putting stuff into my shop, or actually even started collecting things for my shop, is learning how to learn how to do Excel spreadsheets. I know some people, they're like, I don't need a spreadsheet. I don't need to learn how to do inventory. I know what I have. I have, 20 products right now. That's great and all. But what you will find is that you will be like, oh my gosh, I actually, have more than I thought. And then you want to have a record for yourself. Don't depend on the owner to provide you with records of what you sold at the end of the month, but you want to have your own records because you want to be able to look back and see where you have, like how far you've come, what you've created, the cost, everything like that. So Excel, my dog. So Excel spreadsheet is one of the things that I say learn. I know some people are going to be like, I don't even know how to begin to do that. Fair enough. I had no idea how to do that. I am not computer literate. I open my computer and then I have 10 tabs that I'm familiar with, and then that's it. I don't even know half the stuff that my computer can do. My phone, I'm good. My computer, not so much. You can use Excel on your phone and on a computer. There are several YouTube tutorials. In fact, I will put the link in the description box of the very first tutorial that I learned, and this channel has multiple videos for Excel. You have to learn it. You just do. If you make anything that requires formulas, like if you're making candles and all that other stuff, you're gonna want Excel because you're gonna want to be able to put in your materials, your materials, your cost, your recipes, your inventory of supplies that you are using to make the candles. You're gonna want to do this. Believe me, I know I didn't have Excel. I didn't use Excel for the first 3 months, and then it was playing catch up. And to this day, I am still playing catch up. It was one of the things that I wish somebody would have said, do this now while you have a smaller amount of stuff to put into your spreadsheet, as opposed to collecting a bunch of stuff and then having to go back and do inventory. It takes hours. For me, it's very tedious work and it's very boring work, so it's not my favorite. So please learn a spreadsheet. You're gonna need an inventory list. Excel is the best way to do it, especially as you grow. If you start going big, and I'm doing it even small, you're gonna need Excel. It's just hands down. Also, you're gonna want a resale license. Is this mandatory? Absolutely not. You don't need a resale license. Resale licenses are free. At least they are in California. I got my license for free. A friend of mine gave me a number to a tax person. I called them. I told them that I wanted to get my resale license. They were out of the area, so they scheduled me an appointment for a phone appointment, and then he just asked me questions regarding what I would be selling, all of that. So what would I be purchasing? What kind of business do I have? Very basic questions. And then that was it. And then I was emailed my resale license. What your resale license allows you to do, I have the definition. A resale certificate indicates the item was in good faith that the purchaser would resell the item and then report the tax on the final sale. That is what you do. You don't need it. However, if you want to start buying in bulk, you want to start finding discounts, all that stuff, don't pay the taxes on your goods that you are buying for your business, because you're paying the tax on on product that you're going to be reselling. And when you resell it, you still have to charge for the tax, and then you have to pay tax for that product that you sold at the end of the year. So you don't want to double tax yourself. So get your resale license. It is free in California. I don't know about it everywhere else. It took me about 15, maybe 20 minutes at the most. It was emailed to me, and it is a savior. I'm able to buy all kinds of different products. My candle supplies don't have any tax on it because I resell my candles. I pay for the tax at the end of the year for the candles that I sell. So get your resale license. If you don't use it, then no harm, no foul. You're good. If you use it only once in a while, again, you're good. And then some people are like, you know what? I'm going to use it all the time. No matter what kind of craft you make, you are always going to need a resale license for bigger supply places so you can get discounts and whatnot. And in some places, they won't even sell to you unless they only sell wholesale. So they only sell to resellers. Is that a word? But get your resale license. And then, talk to people that are in your industry and see like different places where people are ordering from, all that other good stuff. Definitely. So you have your resale license, learn Excel. Then start scoping out vendor malls. See what other vendors are selling. Are you the only one? I'm assuming there are vendor malls in almost every city. Throughout California, every time I go to a different town, there's always a vendor mall. They could be described as antique malls, vintage malls, but there's usually a business that has vendors inside of it. Again, not consignment, just vendors. Check them out, see if they require a lease, what is the percentage that they take. The benefits of being inside a vendor mall is you do not need a business license. You are practicing under the owner of the business. You are practicing under their license, okay? This is why you don't need a resale license. You are practicing under their license. Again, you don't have to pay for PG&E. Your rent that you are paying is for the PG&E too. So when you're like, oh my God, $350 for a small spot, because I don't have to pay for water. I don't have to pay for PG&E. I don't have to be there. Vendors do not have to work inside the store to sell their product. There is somebody that is hired, that the owner hires to run the whole store. Basically, that's what I do for my work. Like I have my store, but I also work there because the owner of the store has employed me to run the store to sell everybody's stuff, not just my stuff. You don't have to be there. So it gives you the luxury of still being able to go to work, to do your 9 to 5, to do whatever you need to do while someone else is running the entire big giant store of all of these vendors. So that is what I think is so amazing about it, because I don't have the luxury of opening my own brick and mortar store and then going to work for myself, praying that somebody is going to come in and buy this XYZ amount of product for me, because that's what I have to make in order to pay my bills. I live in a very small town. If I lived in a bigger town, it may be, like right now opening my own brick and mortar is at like a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. If I lived in a bigger city, it might be, it's a 3. It might be go up to a 5, but I am still just trying to get my name out there. So a vendor mall, especially one that's well established, can get your name out there. You can be there for a couple of years. Yes, the percentage that the owner takes is 15%, but I'm getting my name out there. I'm in an established business. I don't have to worry about anything. I can just come and go as I please, put product in my store as I see fit, and then leave, and then let somebody else sell my stuff. Because of my rent and my 15% that gets deducted from every sale, I do up my prices just a little bit, because I have to take that into consideration. It's just like taking the price of shipping for your goods. You have to factor that into the cost of your product. You have to include all of the things. And so sometimes when people are like, well, why is this product so high? Well, not everybody understands, there's all of these different things that go into just the basic cost. And when they start trying to make things themselves or trying to resell them, yes, they will then figure that out. Also, Etsy takes a percentage. I think Etsy takes 10%. So if you're selling on Etsy and you're like, oh, I don't want anybody to take any percentage of my sales. Well, you're already having that taken out. It's just something that unless you are selling it for yourself independently, you're going to have to pay a percentage. So it allows me to still work, to still have the freedom to not be tied down to my store, and like I said, get my name out there. People are becoming more familiar with my product. Maybe in 2 to 3 years, and who knows, I reach for the stars. So I'm like, man, I hope my name is gonna, blow up here in the next holiday season. Cause I started right at the very beginning of the holiday season where I was still just completely trying to figure everything out. So I was, trying to scramble. But this year I'm able to plan. So I'm like, okay, now I really can put all the effort and thought into the holiday season. So I'm like, man, it's the shopping season, it's candle season. I'm really hoping that I can get even bigger than last year. But last year was incredible. So I'm just like, reach for the stars, Sandra. Go big or go home. Not really, I don't want to go home, but you know what I mean? But so yeah, and being in a vendor mall allows you to figure out all the little things that go along with creating a business, how much time it will take to decorate your spot. How long does how many times do you have to go in and replenish your inventory? Are people asking for, requests? Are they like, can you make me XYZ? So when you open a store, you're going to get all that. You're going to get people, hey, can you do custom whatever? Oh, how about this? You're going to get everybody giving you suggestions the minute you open your spot. I get people giving me suggestions about all kinds of candles that I should be making all the time. And so it gives you that flexibility to play around with these ideas, talk to your customers, see what they want. Talk to the person who's running the store. Has anybody mentioned anything about my spot? Are they saying that they wish that they see something else, or are they commenting on the price? It allows you the flexibility to do that. And believe me, $350 for the spot that I have. I'm right on Main Street. I'm up in the front of the place. Rent here is well into the thousands. And I say probably I'm lying. I'm maybe like $2,000. But then you have to take on the water, the garbage, the PG&E, you have to make sure you have insurance, you have to do all those things. So I like this giant thing of owning a business. I'm just taking a tiny nibble off of it by having my spot in the vendor mall, paying the $350 and, allowing the owner to take 15%. I am taking a nibble. And I know some people, they're just like, but it just seems like so much. It's not. And you can start small. A lot of vendor places, especially where I'm at, they offer just a little wall section. I know people that are in my vendor area that pay $45 for a small section. And, if you have one product in there that is that much, and you sell that one product, that covers your rent, and there's nobody that is in the vendor mall where I'm at who doesn't at least make their rent. I think I'm one of the most expensive rents where I'm at, but I make that 10 times over. I wish 10 times over. I make it over. I do very well in there, so I don't worry about that. And it allowed me to expand to across the street to the other vendor store. And so I now have 2 locations. But this is why I believe a vendor mall is incredible for those who are starting out. If you're completely unsure of if your town even offers them, just look up vintage stores, because that's usually what you're going to find when it comes to a vendor mall. Call an antique place, go in, ask them, hey, do you know of any vendor malls here? They're going to know what you're talking about for the most part. Because usually antique stores is a big mix of a bunch of people that have antiques. There are those who are big collectors and have the whole store to themselves, but usually it's a big collection of a lot of other people mixed with the owners. So yeah, just start calling, watch, learn how to get Excel, because like I said, you're gonna need to learn how to do a spreadsheet. You're gonna want to get your resale license. And what else was it? Oh, listen to podcasts. That's the other thing I was going to tell you. Podcasts are completely free. Your local library has tons and tons of books on business, but I love to listen to a podcast first because I'm a very busy person, so I have to, have something in while I'm trying to move around. And so what will happen is when you're listening to these podcasts, these business people, and I have 4 names for you. So if you want to grab a pen and paper or pause it right here, I'm going to tell you the names of 4 people that I absolutely love. Love, love, love. Okay. So it's Brendan Burchard, Jenna Kutcher, Dean Graciosi, and Keisha Fitzgerald. Keisha Fitzgerald has Empower, and then her. And then Dean Graciosi is just his name. Jenna Kutcher is the Goal Digger podcast. And Brendan Burchard is just his name. Those are the 4 that I listen to daily. I go back and listen to old episodes if they don't have a new one. I absolutely love those 4. And what they'll tell you the books that they have listened to get them to where they're at. They talk about habits. They talk about going big, because the thing is that I see time and time again, vendors will come in, especially since I've worked there. New vendors will come in and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to fill my space. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to sell enough to pay for my rent. Oh my gosh, I don't know, how to do this or how to do that. And that was me, 1000%. I looked at that big space and I thought, I'll never be able to do this. And it works. It works, especially if you're in an established business. If you are somewhere where you see a lot of customers coming in, talk to the owners. Always talk to the owners, like, how's business? Really, ask them the owners questions of a vendor mall as if they're about to watch your kid or your pet. Like, let's talk. I want to know what happens around here. Don't just go, oh my God, get the stars in your eyes and thought, oh, I'm just going to jump all in and then ask questions later. No, your business is your baby, whether it be, like I said, whether it's your kids or your pet, it's your baby, and so ask the questions. So the podcast, I understand that not everybody's going to be like, okay, I plan on going big. This is just like something to bring in a little bit of extra income. But I have seen those, like myself, who have thought, this is just going to be my side hustle. This is just going to be like a little thing to get me through this tough time. And next thing you know, I'm like, my storefront sign's going to look like this. I'm building my empire. Oh my gosh, here's what's happening. I've got it at, and it gets bigger and bigger. And thankfully, I paid attention to a lot of those podcasts at the time when I didn't think they applied to me, but they did. And you know what? It doesn't hurt knowing these things, because when you listen to a podcast also that is talking about bigger things than you could ever comprehend, it allows your mind to go that distance where you're like thinking inside the box, and you hear something and you're like, wow, like Jenna Kutcher took a $300 camera and built a, 6-digit or a 6-figure online coaching business. You're like, what? You're like, I could do that, and so these podcasts will allow you to expand your mind even further than you ever thought. And so I just encourage you guys to listen to a few. I know everybody's not going to, love all 4 of these people, but it'll allow you to, it'll open that door to get you going. So that's, I highly recommend the vendor mall. I've been in the vendor mall, like I said, for about 10 months. I don't see myself going anywhere right now because I still have a lot to learn. And I really love the flexibility of not having to worry about $1,000 rents. Today the vendor mall is open, and here I am talking to you guys. There's somebody else working today, and it's just nice. And You can change it up. You know, I originally started making candles, and now here I am making bath bombs, sugar scrubs, lip scrubs, soap, you know, and wreaths. I mean, it's fun. It's really fun. And I encourage you guys who are even testing the waters of opening your own business and not computer savvy, where you're like, I don't really want to do an Etsy store. I don't want to ship items. I don't want to be on eBay. I don't want to do any of that. You know, and also the great thing is you don't have to deal with, like, when you have a vendor mall or you're in the vendor mall, you don't have to deal with payments. Like, I don't have to worry about, you know, getting the Square app or, you know, getting a register going or having a credit card machine. I don't have to worry about all of that stuff that goes along with creating a business, you know? So again, it is really nice for those who do want to do it, but just don't want to just bite off more than they can chew, even though working in the vent or having a vendor spot is definitely hard work. I run it like it's my own store, like it's my baby. It really is. And I can't wait for the day for my own brick and mortar store. I have so many beautiful ideas, but right now I still have a lot to learn, and I love the freedom. I just can't state that enough. The freedom is incredible. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to ask. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. There's so much more that I want to share with you when it comes to, like, the business side of things. And I don't want to, you know, ramble on too long. It's already been about 26 minutes. So I'm going to let you guys go. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. I will answer them as best as I can, to the best of my knowledge. And then, of course, make sure that you understand that this is just my opinions. These are just my opinions. These are just my experiences. It's always different for everyone, and in every city, every state. So please make sure that you look into your own, where you're at, what fits you, what works for you, rather than just take my word as gold, because I want to make sure that your business is successful. But I can definitely give you advice and, you know, try to steer you in the right direction. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys again in my next tutorial.